you also hear people say that love is blind, when in actual fact, love is not blind. Initial attraction is blind, but love is about self-awareness. It's the complete opposite. Hey guys, welcome back to Greatness, Gratitude and Growth, the podcast series aimed at making you become the best version of yourself and also truly live your best life. Thank you so much for taking time to watch this episode today, focusing on the 3 stages of love and how to understand them. My name is Gaurav, and today's a very interesting day because hopefully when you guys are seeing this, it is Valentine's Day. So if you celebrate Valentine's Day, have a great day with your partner, with your boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, or by yourself or whatever. I know for me, I'm probably going to be spending this time solo and just working on myself and getting uni stuff ready. But if you are celebrating, if you're lucky to be celebrating with someone today, have a great day and I hope you guys have the best. For me, Valentine's Day is very peculiar because I've not actually spent it with anyone before, and it sounds a bit sad, but it's true. And it's the day that my whole feed on Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, everyone's confessing their love and everyone is, buying each other presents, handbags, meals. Obviously with lockdown, I don't think meals will happen, but, meals, days out, trips, retreats, all of that stuff. And, some couples really enjoy that kind of stuff. Some couples like a chill out evening. But it's interesting that it's this one day in the whole year everyone really confesses their love and makes it public. And it made me realize I wanted to talk about love and, this whole topic, as I said, 3 stages of love and how to understand them, because why do we only kind of focus on one day of Valentine's, really emphasize love on Valentine's Day, but then we don't follow that up through the year? So, yeah, just interesting to consider that kind of point. Why do we make so much effort for one day? And, if it is for photos, or if it is for the social media aspect, cool. But why don't we chase that up with regular dates or regular intimate time together, or taking a break from that? Even some people spend their relationship days every single day with each other, where you might need a break. But yeah, I'm diverging into a massive sidetrack, I'm sorry. But yeah, want to also say a massive shout out to the Jay Shetty podcast on purpose for kind of inspiring this discussion today. He did a podcast, I want to say just under 2 years ago, which is called 3 Ways to Know How Long It Will Take to Fall in Love. So if you do have time and if you are interested in the stuff that I say, I do use a lot of the Jay Shetty episode to kind of have some discussion points for today's episode. So without further ado, I want to start by talking about how does love start. So for most people, people say love starts, or when I met my partner, whatever, we locked eyes, we were at this party or we were in a room together, I locked eyes, and from this moment I knew she was the one. And claims like that, bold as they may be true or not, but like people say, love started then, and since then I knew she was the one. I knew I was gonna spend the rest of my life with her, and making all of these massive sentences, which cool. But I believe for me, love doesn't start at that point. There's a massive distinguish between attraction and between love. And you also hear people say that love is blind, when in actual fact, love is not blind. Initial attraction is blind, but love is about self-awareness. It's the complete opposite. Love is, I'll say this more in today's episode, but love isn't blind. And I feel that's one massive thing, if I do want to get a main point out there, is that love is not blind. Love isn't by chance. Love is, through commitment and through growth and, through spending time together and through understanding, being self-aware within yourself. That's what love is. It's not about blindness. Blindness is your attraction. That's what you're first attracted to. But love is much more than that. Much more than that. And that's one thing I do want to hammer home. For me, being very poetic now, but I want to say that love is like an ocean, It's so deep and vast, but depending on your understanding of how much you know about the ocean, that's going to be your understanding of it. So, for example, most people just see the sea, and that's the surface level. Whereas the ocean is so vast and so deep and it's so beautiful. There's so many things that we don't know about the ocean. And even same with love. We think love is about a surface level attraction. Oh, I think you're pretty. Oh, I think you're the one. I lock eyes with you. But it's much more than that. There's an understanding behind it. I feel like people forget that. People think, love is all the things I've just said earlier. But, there's a person behind the person you're loving. And you've got to take time to understand that. And it's not a one-time deed. Love is a commitment. It's a continuous action that you continue to grow they're in and they're out. You know, day by day, your love gets stronger because you're growing to that. You're committing and you're understanding each other more every day. So yeah, love it. That's what I believe love is. That's a massive sidetrack of what I was gonna say, but you know, this is what a podcast series is for me to talk and you know get some of a structure, but not really a structure. Um, but yeah, let's talk about how love starts. So for me, I believe love starts at an attraction level. So this is what you see in someone, and that's what attracts you to them. Because at the end of the day, we're not out here going to every single person saying, "Oh, I love you, I love you, I love you." There's only certain people we kind of get that attraction for, and likewise, attraction isn't for everyone. You've got to kind of see what you're attracted to. So for me, it starts off at a surface level attraction, which is not a bad thing. I want to stress that surface level attraction is not a thing which I should like you should shame, because at the end of the day, that's how you kind of form your relationships, is through that initial attraction. But be aware that it's much more than that. So for me, with the surface attraction stuff, there's three parts I want to talk about. That is surface level. So you've got your appearance, you've got the social, and you've got the mental. So these are the three attractions I want to talk about. So appearance attraction, social attraction, and mental attraction. So appearance, kind of self-explanatory how they look. So this is when you kind of look at someone and say, "Oh, your eyes are beautiful. Okay, you've got a great figure. Or you know, you're quite beautiful. I like how you look." Like, it's purely physical. It's purely what you see. It could also link to, like, let's say if I smell nice, so if you're wearing some nice perfume, you'll be attracted to that. Also, their tone of voice. So, for example, people are attracted to accents. I know there's some better accents. Obviously, me being northern, that's quite an attractive accent to some people. But some people are deterred from the northern accent, which is fine. That's what you're attracted to. But all of that kind of stuff, all that you can perceive with the five senses. So, you know, how they look, how they speak, in terms of, like, what they actually sound like, how they smell. Sometimes people get like put off by how they smell, but that is kind of what attraction is on an appearance aspect of it. So you know what you can perceive with your five senses. Next, you've got social attraction. So this is attraction of what they have in a way. They're kind of like socio class in a way. So for example, what do they have? Do they have a fancy car that you really look up to? This is what kind of inspires you in a way. So if they have a fancy car, if they have, you know, the brands, if you're interested in the brands, like the materialistic items of them, you know, are they well educated, for example? That's more of the social side. So stuff like that you can be attracted to, how they dress, more appearance, but then also like what they dress with. So yeah, that's the social side, and then finally the mental side. So this is a bit deeper than the other two, I would say, but you know how they think. So what do they kind of what processes them in the mind, and this is different to mental attraction. Is different to the other forms of attraction I'm going to talk about later. But mental is purely how they think in the brain. So these three are categorized for, let's say, surface level attraction, in my humble opinion, just because they're what you see first, and you know they're probably the easiest things to see in a person when you first meet them from afar or when you first get to know them, because they're the aspects that you see forefront. So yeah, and that's kind of for me the initial level of attraction. However, that attraction isn't bad, as I said earlier. That's just a gateway for you to kind of proceed further into the deeper levels of attraction. So for me, there's two deeper levels of attraction. So the first level is emotional attraction, so how they make you feel. So the first one is what they're thinking. That's mental attraction. That's mental attraction with how they feel, how they think. But then emotional attraction is how they make you feel. And you know, do they make you feel happy? Do they make you feel good? Do you feel motivated when you talk to them? Do you feel inspired when you spend time with them? Do they lift you up? All these things are on a deeper level, and they're not defined by items. They're not defined by looks. They're defined by how they make you feel, which, you know, you can't really bring to an object. That's how you perceive them. Also, this could be on the flip side of it. You know, do you feel bad when they're not there? Like, do you feel like, I've seen this person 6 days out of 7 this week. The one day I didn't see them, I feel bad. That's also linked to an emotional attachment or attraction, because it's not as healthy, but still that is a form of attraction which needs to be worked on with some people. But I just want to state that out there, that emotional attraction isn't purely good. And then finally you got spiritual attraction. So for me personally, this is like the deepest one that I really aspire when I, you know, look for something. I really put myself out there just then, didn't I? But yeah, spiritual attractions. This is how connected they are with themselves. You know, this is when you really spend time with someone. This is where you really get a grasp of what they're about. So what their values are, what they look up to, what their dreams are, what they believe in, and it's really key for me personally to have this spiritual connection with someone. And the spiritual connection links to how well they know themselves as well. So this is for them to see what their values are, what their hobbies are, what their passions are, what their purpose is. All of these things link to spiritual attraction. And for me, this is the strongest one from the 5. So whilst we had appearance, we had social, and we also had mental, they're important to perceive initially when you first see someone. That's what you're going to look towards. You're not going to look at someone, let's say in the club, and then be like, oh, I'm spiritually attracted to this person. And then someone asks you why, it's like, oh, I don't know, it just sounded cool. But you're not going to say spiritual or emotional because you've not actually had an interaction with them. Whereas the first 3, you could say, I'm attracted to this person. Why? Because she's got nice lipstick. Or I'm attracted to this person. Oh, why? Because she's got, you know, a nice car. Or I'm attracted to this person. Oh, why? Because, you know, I like how she's dancing. You know, all of these things, they're like surface. That's what you see at the forefront. But then obviously behind every person has the emotional and spiritual side to them, which, you know, in a relationship, especially with love, you've got to really connect and you really got to go into. So spiritual, as I said, is the values of what they believe in, what they want to achieve, what their passions are, what their purpose is, how they want to spend time, like really getting a core understanding of what the person is. That's really important to know. Love is about that. Love is about the connection of 2 people and willing to push each other to the best version of themselves. That's how I would define love in a general term. Because that, in that definition, you can push it with family, you can push it with friends, you can push it with a partner, but you really want to have that connection with each other to elevate yourself to the best person that you can be, and willing to accept them for who they are, their flaws, if you want to call them flaws, their positives, but accept as one whole package, and not looking towards a few positive aspects that you consider positive and a few not so positive aspects that you want to neglect. It's a whole package, love is. Hopefully I'm right, but it'd be interesting what you guys think as well. But that's, for me, what it is. That's what attraction is. And that is the first stage of love. So, as the podcast is called, the 3 stages of love. This is what it is. The first stage is attraction. So, obviously, when you see someone, you're going to be attracted to them for one of the first 3 reasons. And then, over time, you will develop the emotional and the spiritual attraction, which is good. So, the second stage I want to talk about is deepening the understanding you have. So, this is when you spend time with someone and, as I said, you connect with the spiritual / emotional side of them, and then you can also argue that you're going to expand on the physical, the social, and the mental aspects of that. So that's important to remember as well. But with understanding people, like, everyone's got different, I don't want to say versions, but different surfaces. We'll say different surfaces. So everyone's got different surfaces. They've got multiple surfaces that you've got to understand and get used to. And this is where it gets confusing, because a lot of people kind of mix, well, these 2 stages and the 3rd stage as well. And that's where they get flustered. That's where they get confused, because they really think they're mixing stage 1, 2, and 3 all together. And then they get confused at the end and say, why didn't it work out? Or like, I'm really confused how I'm feeling. And then you confuse the other person as well if you're talking to them. So this is where stage 2, I feel like people rush a lot. They kind of say, stage 1, tick, yeah, they look good, yeah, cool, okay, they dress nice, okay, yeah, they have a lot of money, cool. And it's like, yo, I love you. And it's like, yo, what? He's like, where's this come from? But attraction, important. Understanding, more important. Because this is where you look at someone and say, this day, I saw you on your happy day. And I'm happy to see you happy. But I want to see you also when you're not so happy. Because that's a different surface that, when you love someone, you're going to understand that part of them. So you got to understand the full package with someone. So you got to look at them when they're not having a good day, when they're looking a bit stressed. You got to see how they deal with stress, because we all go through stress, and we can't neglect that side. We can't imagine this one person perfect match, because in life you can't expect one person to be your everything. And that is also one misconception with love, because we expect our partner to be this one amazing person that could, you know, be bulletproof. We expect them to have time travel. We expect them to have all of these unrealistic goals, and we expect them to, you know, fulfill all of our criteria and requirements, when in actual fact, you're going to have loads of people for different purposes for that. So you obviously, with your partner, you're gonna have them to be your rock in a way. You're gonna have them be someone you have support and willing to push you to grow. For example, I play a lot of Warzone in my time. You may know this if you don't know me, but I play a lot of PlayStation. I don't have a partner, but like, for me to expect my partner to be the one who plays Warzone with me, to be the one that goes for runs with me, to be the one that does weights with me and be my constant partner in that, to be the one that does my course with me, to be the one that does my reading with me, all of those stuff is going to be unrealistic. And that's why you have friends and family to be there. You have people in your life that have those criteria as well. So it's important also with love, just want to quickly stress that you can't expect this one person to be a fit all for everything. And that's where other people come in. And it's for you to find that balance between people. But anyway, back to... Sorry, I'm getting massively sidetracked. Probably me getting a bit giddy with this talk, innit? But with love and with the services and understanding people, you've got to see them in pretty much all the lights you're going to have. So you're going to see them, when they're happy, when they're sad, when they're stressed, when they're relaxed, when they're giddy, when they're childish, when they're mature. And that takes a while. You can't expect to do that in one day. You can't expect that to do that in one sitting, or 2 sittings, or 3 sittings. This is a constant process for you. And that's the thing. As people, we're lazy. We kind of look at one surface and be like, yeah, you're this. I love that. I love you. Okay, let's move forward. But then in a relationship, if you spend time together, you're going to realize that this person's got more than one surface. You're going to see that they have, the sad side, the stress side, the sides that make them vulnerable. And you're like, oh, I didn't sign up for this. Yeah, because you signed up for one surface and not the other. Whereas love is a full, complete package. Like, how can we fall in love with one surface and not the other surface? We've got to take it as I said, a complete package. And that's really important to push. So if you are in the talking stage, okay, cool. That's you in the attraction / understanding phase. And if it's possible for you, spend time together. Obviously with lockdown, it's going to be a bit different, but go on walks together, go for walks in nature, because then you can open up. And there's been scientific studies, I can't quote any, but I know Jay talks about this in his podcast, where, you spend time in nature, you're serene, you're connecting with nature, and you're more likely to open up. And that connection, that spiritual connection, also grows with understanding, because, you're being vulnerable. And for me, being vulnerable is a strength and not a weakness. And when you share that with someone, you're opening part of yourself to the other person. And you can't expect that to do that in one day. As I said earlier, it's going to be over a long period of time. And it's up for you to play the patience game and not rush into anything. And you got to take it day by day, step by step, meeting by meeting, surface by surface. Because that's what love is. It's a complete understanding of people. And that's stage 2. So even in that scenario, take this person to different locations. Don't expect to spend all your interactions in one place. Spend it in different places. If you can have them around your house, cool. If you can have them in a park, cool. If you can have them at a library, cool. Or, a cafe, a restaurant, a walk in town, a walk in a busy city, or, even virtually if you want to, that counts. But take them in different situations and try to express those different surfaces of you and different places and see what their core values are. Because that's the one thing that people don't change, is their core values, that spiritual side. If you know it or not, that's going to be the same with each person. So understand that about people, because that's important to consider and that's important to say. And then we move on from stage 2 to stage 3, which is, asking yourself, is this love? And for you to take a step back and say, okay, then I spent time with this person. At first, I was attracted to their eyes because they were very pretty. After that, I spoke with her, I got her number, or I got her social media, we decided to meet up. And I understood that she went through this, she went through that. And I told her I went through this, I went through that. And, I saw this happy side to her, which I was really grateful. It made me feel happy. But then it also, I saw the sad side to her. She had a lot of, let's say, past trauma or, past experiences that she's hurt by. But, I listened to her, and that's what's made her stronger. And through all of these surfaces, you may realize, you know what, this is the person that I'm happy to understand more. And yeah, my mind's going a bit blank. Or you could, on the flip side, say, I don't feel comfortable spending this time on a romantic level, but as a friend, I'm more happy to be a friend. And that's for you to decide. And, you might think, oh, that's 3 stages, cool, but then it's an ongoing process. I said earlier, love isn't just a tick the box, okay, move on. It's not a checklist thing. Love is a continuous act of growth with each other. And, in relationships, it's not a title, it's a deed, it's a job, it's an action, it's a continuous action through the rest of your life, hopefully, or however long you want to kind of be in love for. It's not a thing that you want to rush. It's not a thing that you want to take time with. But it's important to identify what are you attracted to, and it's important to kind of lay out the steps in your mind. It's important to have the stages in a way, so then that way you're not jumping the gun. You're not going to rush into someone and say, "Oh, I love you," and they're like, "Bro, we only met like 2 times ago, like 2 times. Why are you saying stuff like this?" But it's important for you to go from there, follow it through, and see whether it leads you. And on that note, I think that's it for my side. It's a bit of a mini talk, but I do like these mini discussions we're having, and you know, I'm happy you guys are enjoying it as well. One thing I want to end on is there's no age to fall in love. There's no time limit. So, you know, people say you got to get married or fall in love by this age to have kids by that age. There's no time limit. That's all comparative. End of the day, you can't rush a relationship. If you rush a relationship, it's going to cause more harm than good. And you don't want that. You want to invest and you really want to grow. That's it. But yeah, no time limit, no rush. Whenever the time's right, it'll come to you, and don't force it. Understand, so at the end of the day in a relationship, there is someone behind the screen you're talking to. So there's someone behind the eyes you're looking at, the smile you're kind of like gleaming at. But understand that person, spend time with them, see the different levels to this person, and you know, see their mindset, see how they think, see what they believe in, see how they dress, see how they talk to themselves, and grow from that and learn from that. Because at the end of the day, in a relationship, you're there to learn and grow and expand as a person. And you know, with greatness, gratitude, and growth, you will be able to do that. So anyways, gonna leave it there for you guys. Thanks for watching. Best wishes to you all, and have a good Valentine's Day. And you know, stay safe. And yeah, see you on another episode. Thank you and goodbye.